You ever stop and think about how your body just knows what to do? You know, how your heart starts hammering when you get excited, or how you slowly grow taller over years? It all comes down to communication. Your body has two incredible networks to get things done. One is like a super fast direct message, and the other? Well, that one's more like a public Wi-Fi signal, broadcasting its message to anyone who can connect. So first up is your nervous system. Think of it like having a high-speed fiber optic cable running to every part of your body. It sends these instant electrical signals down dedicated wires we call nerves. You touch something hot, bam, that message zips from your finger to your brain and back in a fraction of a second, telling you to pull your hand away. It's crazy fast and super specific. But there's another system working right alongside it, and that's the endocrine system. This is your body's wireless network. Instead of sending a private message down a wire, it broadcasts chemical messages, called hormones, into your bloodstream. Now, these messages go everywhere, but only the cells with the right password, what we call a receptor, can actually hear the signal. This system's a little slower to get going, sure, but its effects can spread through your whole body and last for hours, or even days. All right, so a wired system and a wireless one. Let's really dig in and put them side by side. This is where you can see what truly makes them tick differently. This right here really lays it all out. The nervous system uses what are called neurotransmitters. Their message gets delivered in a split second, and then poof, the effect is gone just as fast. But the endocrine system, with its hormones traveling through the blood, that can take seconds, sometimes even hours, to really kick in, and the effect can stick around for days. It's kind of like the difference between a quick text message and a company-wide memo that changes how everyone works for the entire week. And this visual just makes it crystal clear, doesn't it? If you look at diagram A, the nervous system, it's a direct point-to-point connection. The nerve cell is literally plugged right into its target. But then look at B, the endocrine system. It's all about broadcasting. The gland releases hormones into that big red river, the bloodstream, and they just float along until they bump into the specific cells that are tuned to their frequency. Okay, so if the endocrine system is our body's wireless network, what exactly are these signals it's sending out? Well, they're called hormones, and understanding them is the absolute key to understanding this whole amazing system. So, what even is a hormone? At its core, it's a chemical messenger. But the one rule that makes it a hormone is its delivery route. It has to travel through the blood. Think of it like this. You can hand a note directly to your friend, but for it to be mail, it's got to go through the postal service, right? For these chemicals, the bloodstream is the postal service. Now, not all hormones are created equal. They pretty much fall into two main families: steroid hormones and non-steroid hormones. A good way to think about them is like two different kinds of delivery people. One has a master key and can just walk right into any building, while the other one has to ring the doorbell and get someone else to take the package inside. So first up are the steroid hormones. These are the ones with the master key. Because of what they're made of, they can just slip right through a cell's outer membrane, no problem at all. Once they're inside, they head straight for the cell's main office, the nucleus, find their special receptor, and start giving direct orders. They tell the cell's DNA to start making a brand new protein. It is a direct command to the factory floor. Let's just follow the journey here. You can see the hormone arrives, and it just waltzes right through the cell wall. Inside, it finds its partner, its specific receptor. Then this powerful duo marches straight into the nucleus, the cell's command center, and flips a switch on a specific gene. This creates a new blueprint called messenger RNA, which then goes out and tells the cell's machinery to build a totally new protein. It's a direct order from the top that changes what the cell actually does. And then we have the other team, the non-steroid hormones. These guys are the doorbell ringers. They're too big or just not the right shape to get through the cell's front door. So they bind to a receptor on the outside. This kicks off a chain reaction inside the cell, kind of like a game of dominoes, passing the message from one molecule to the next until finally the cell gets the memo and changes what it's doing. The original hormone never even stepped foot inside. And this diagram just shows that chain reaction beautifully. The hormone shows up, but nope, it can't get in. So it docks onto a receptor on the surface, it rings the doorbell. That activates a little helper molecule, which then turns on an enzyme inside. And that enzyme creates a whole swarm of tiny little messengers inside the cell. Think of them like a bunch of memos getting passed around the office. These little messengers then go and activate proteins that were already there, just waiting for the signal. The hormone never came inside, but it completely changed the cell's behavior anyway. So, okay, we've got these two different kinds of messengers, but who's sending them out in the first place? Where's the main control center for this whole wireless network? It's time to meet the bosses. The easiest way to think about it is like a big company. Way up top, deep in your brain, you've got the hypothalamus. That's the CEO. It's constantly checking data on your body's temperature, your energy levels, stress, all of it. And based on that info, it sends orders to its general manager, the pituitary gland. The pituitary then sends out its own hormones to tell all the other glands in the body, the different departments, what they need to do. But how does the system know when to stop? I mean, how does it keep from just sending out commands forever? Well, the secret is this absolutely brilliant process called negative feedback. And honestly, it works exactly like the thermostat in your house. When your house gets too cold, the heat kicks on. But once it warms up to the right temperature, the thermostat senses it and turns the heat off. The result, the heat, is the very thing that shuts off the original signal. It's all about creating perfect balance. Let's watch this in action right here. The brain, our CEO and manager, sends out a signal telling the thyroid gland to start making thyroid hormones. Now, as the level of that hormone starts to rise in the blood, those exact same hormone molecules travel all the way back up to the brain. And you can see it with those red lines. They basically tell the hypothalamus and pituitary, hey, job's done. We've got plenty down here. You can stop yelling go for a while. It's this constant chatter that keeps everything perfectly stable. So the pituitary gland is the general manager, but it oversees a whole team of other specialized glands that do some really important jobs. Let's meet a couple of the all-stars on the endocrine team. First up, the adrenal glands. This is your body's emergency response team. When you're scared, or maybe just really excited, they pump out adrenaline. And you know exactly what this feels like. It's the adrenaline rush. Suddenly, your heart is pounding out of your chest, your airways open up to suck in more oxygen, your blood pressure goes up, your sugar levels spike. Every single one of those things is designed to give your body a massive burst of energy to either fight whatever's in front of you or run away from it fast. Next up, we have the pancreas, your body's energy accountant. It runs this beautiful push and pull system to keep your blood sugar perfectly managed. Look on the left. After you eat a meal, your blood sugar goes up. So the pancreas releases insulin, which is like a key that tells your cells to open their doors and let that sugar in for energy. But then, on the right, between meals, when your sugar starts to dip, the pancreas releases a different hormone, glucagon. And that tells your liver, hey, release some of that stored sugar back into the blood. It's a perfect balancing act all day long. So when you put it all together, all these different glands, these hormones, these incredible feedback loops, you realize they're all working toward one single goal: balance. The fancy scientific term for this is homeostasis. And this silent, tireless system is absolutely vital for keeping everything inside you stable, healthy, and humming along just right. But what happens when that balance gets thrown off? Well, let's go back to our energy accountant, the pancreas. If something goes wrong with its insulin system, it can lead to a disease called diabetes mellitus. This is basically when your body either can't make enough insulin or your cells just stop listening to its message. The result is that all that sugar gets trapped in the blood, leading to dangerously high blood sugar. The two main types are really just two different kinds of problems. Let's stick with our key analogy. Insulin is the key that unlocks your cells to let sugar in. Well, with type 1 diabetes, it's a production problem. The body's own immune system attacks and destroys the factory that makes the keys, so no keys. But with type 2, it's a reception problem. The factory's making keys just fine, but the locks on all the cell doors have gotten rusty and resistant, and the keys don't work properly anymore. Either way, sugar gets locked out of the cells where it's desperately needed. So from that instant jolt of adrenaline to the slow, steady hum of your metabolism, this hidden wireless network is always at work. It's conducting this massive, silent chemical orchestra inside of you every single second of every day, keeping everything in perfect harmony. And that just kind of leaves you with one big question to chew on. If this complex orchestra is constantly shaping our bodies in ways we can't even see, what other invisible forces are out there shaping who we are every single moment of the day?